The one other thing is that we are actually on a small airport. But
Oh, the one, yeah. Okay, yeah.
Really loud.
I haven't heard them. When you said that, I thought it was like a film terminology or something like that. You were like, we're embarking on an airport. You know, I was like, I don't really understand the analogy.
So it really is an airport.
Yeah. Yeah, so my name is Courtney McLarnon. I work at the Center on Gender Equity and Health at the University of California, San Diego. And my role on this project, the project title, so to speak, is the Monitoring, Evaluation, and Learning MEL Advisor. Yeah. There is a part of me that, especially over the last few days, feels like it's become, you know, when you say a word a few times or you say it incorrectly, you're like, is that even a word anymore? Or does it have any meaning? And I think I'm sort of hitting the wall of, I know it's a very important construct, but feels meaningless at the moment. But in any case, yeah, I suppose the way I look at it or understand it in my own life, and that's probably the lens in which I look at the work, is that it's almost entirely an internal process, which is, you know, theoretically not the case. But I really feel like it's something you possess, you achieve, you seek out. And like once you possess that sort of internal force, so to speak, you can then act on it. We talked a lot about it goes both ways. And well, I mean, yeah, there's so much to get into, of course, within just this one topic. That's so dynamic, and you have it and then you lose it, and then you have it for one thing in your life and not another thing. And so that's all coming to the forefront as well. But the other element of agency that is really central in my life, just like what you mentioned, is a lot of what we discuss about relational agency, right? So again, relational agency, but let's add another layer in, right? But really, it's not this binary construct of one person or a massive group of people. Like, we're often asserting our agency with our partners, with our children, and the way that plays out may look dramatically different than the other two types as well. You can't give someone empowerment. You can enable conditions that in which they feel empowered, and there are assets and skills, like we mentioned already, that someone can have, and then you create an environment and then they can act on it, right, and enact their agency. So I think I would like us to focus more on, you know, not just the social norms in the environment, but structures and systems as well, and what is happening around the individual or the collective group, and how those metrics play into, like the behaviors that you may think agency underpins in the long term. But if we just continue to focus on individual metrics of behavior change, it's not probably going to be what we want to see. I'm worried that they're going to be cyclical conversations. This doesn't really answer your question, you know, but there's the excitement that comes behind building in these reflective touch points or moments and processes, even like documenting via video or surveys or interviews that we do with each other. And all of those are well and good. But sometimes I wonder, like, if it's so cyclical and we don't go anywhere because we all disagree on our perspectives of agency or how you put them into place or practice in our work, that I do get concerned sometimes about how we get out of it. I think having a partner in the consortium or having even an external facilitative group sort of shepherd us through could be really valuable, because we then don't put the onus on any one body to manage the process of getting out of that conceptual mess and the way it matters to our work, and then the way it matters to us as people, and then to us as a group. You end up just getting really cloudy. It's exciting and it's energizing, and I feel comfort in the fact that I feel that myself and my team, from my perspective, and all the partners I work with, have only the best intentions to bring to the work, and bring a great sense of humility as well. We've talked about mistakes, we've talked about what's not worked, and there's what worked well, and we, I think, are still navigating a lot of that. But I think if you don't have a strong sense of excitement and energized energy that you bring to the work, then you probably won't succeed in the long term. You know, what if, right? What if after 7 years you're just reinventing the wheel? What if you push forward an agenda that, despite your best efforts and despite everything you've tried and the power you've put in others' hands and the trust you've placed in each other, we're just letting each other down? Or we move too fast, or we just don't hit, the nail on the head, and we just don't answer the questions we have. And I think we have a very supportive team that says, if your questions change, then they change, no worries. But I do think there's a lot of truth and a little bit of worry in that statement too, right? I don't know. We've all navigated environments in donor-funded work that you're still tied to certain goals and results and achievements, and that's a bit worrisome. I hope that they rock the boat, I hope that they, set off well and strong and have a good grounding on what's happening in their context and do all the work that any project or initiative needs to do to not duplicate or reinvent the wheel. That needs to happen. And once that happens, I hope that they have a strong sense of identity and connection with each other, whatever that looks like. Well, I think we need to stop getting bogged down in our work plan and our, metrics, which are intentionally vague, right? We designed, going back to some of the work I've done, we've designed a monitoring framework that captures way more qualitative aspects than quantitative ones. Not like the number of members in a hub. It is, what are the conversations they're having and what are the values that they're placing in this work and where do they want to go and why? And, how are they defining all of this for themselves? We talk about a learning agenda. It is a real concrete thing that can help unify them, but that they can be very distinct in what they'd like to learn and what, activities they'd like to do. The entities were designed to, we refer to it as a research utilization hub, RU hub, love it. But I would be worried that we are so obsessed with sending their protocol, them our protocols or sending our materials and getting their input, that it's the sort of the vision and the action that can be formed behind a group like this falls flat by the burden of, well, we're just going to input, we're just going to review, we're going to give you all of our expertise, and there's sort of no value or no entity that's formed behind it. I hope that people in the project are friends, I hope that we're all just building strong personal relationships and professional relationships that go well beyond this project. We talk about program sustainability from the perspective of implementation, scale up, implement this at the government level. But I think some of the strongest things that come out of consortiums this far and wide are the way we work together, the way we treat each other, and the way that we can sustain these working relationships. It's like a different perspective on sustainability that I think is sometimes the most valuable in this work.